And actually, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because I know me.
You know, so that's our life mission. That's the McShin's mission.
So you don't have to understand my boundaries to respect them.
Well, no, I'm the president and co-founder of McShin, a person in long-term recovery from substance use disorders.
How do you go about fixing the damage in the trust between the family after you get out?
Okay, I gotta work on that.
Celebrating my 6 months. Didn't have a cake.
Yeah.
Gosh, you showed up.
All right, let's get this show on the road, gang. Pay attention. My name is John Shenholzer. I'm the co-founder of the McShin Foundation. And for the first time since I've been coming in here, I'm no longer the president. I retired as being president. So now I'm just another peer. But my title is I'm a senior peer at McShin Foundation. So it's the first time I get to present as a peer, which is very exciting. It's a great move for us. I get to kick back, keep my job, and watch the younger generation take McShin to newer heights. So I'm very excited about that. We're going to get our speaker in here pretty quick because he actually has to go to work. Y'all know what going to work is, right? The man actually has a full-time job, and he's got to be there at 6:30. And yeah, we want him to make it because he's paying real taxes now. And you know, we need money here in the county, of course. But remember, the president needs, Patriot missiles over in Ukraine, so we got to get him all the tax money he can get. I know Sherman. Sherman, I've seen him around. I've watched him a little bit, not closely though. I've heard him share from time to time, and he's a good sharer, but I've never heard him tell the full Monty. So I'm really excited to hear this full Monty. So come on up, Sherman. Let's give it, see what you got. I know what that hand is, man.
Yeah,
Come on. Yeah.
That's why you beat. Oh, y'all. I'm Sherman. I'm definitely Andy. Nice to meet y'all. Wow. It's an honor to be in front of you guys, first of all. It's an honor to stand up here and share my experience, strength, and hope with you guys, right? Hopefully y'all get something out of it, right? So I want to tell you my clean date, right? My clean date is November 2nd, 2015. One day at a time, I haven't found it necessary to use. One day at a time, I haven't found it necessary to use any mind-altering substances, not even mouthwash. And I say mouthwash because, yeah, my recovery mean that much to me, right? Mouthwash got alcohol in it, right? So I read the label, right? Matter of fact, I don't even use mouthwash because it might, I don't know, it might have alcohol up under some other name. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even use it. Anyway, so what I'm saying is that's how much my recovery means to me, right? Wow, John said where the story began, right? Like this right here, I was just telling somebody back there, this right here was my second home. Like, I stayed in this. When I first got my first charge in Henrico, I couldn't stop coming to jail. I couldn't stop. I would get out looking good, doing good, right? And before you know it, I was getting high, running the streets, right? And I was back in jail. I used to have a resentment against God, right? Because I was like, well, why God always getting me locked up? You know what I'm saying? Like I stay locked up, right? But come to find out, right? Like look, like God, I think, right, in my heart that God was taking me through something, right? So that I can have something to tell you guys. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what's your perception, right? Or what's really going on. My perception is that two of my brothers were murdered. Like, they're not here no more, right? And one of my brothers, he was so smart, he went to college and everything. He stayed getting A's and B's, right? And here I am, I'm getting nothing but F's. I don't get F's and D's. I got a C. If I got a C, I was happy as on the way. I thought I got an A. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I was the smartest guy in the class, right? But, I learned, right, that I suffer from low self-esteem, right? And so, how I learned that? How I learned about my low self-esteem? by doing my step work. Y'all heard about people talk about step work and stuff? So that's what unlocked some stuff and let me write it down and see myself, right? And so I learned that low self-esteem is what I suffer from, right? I always wanted to people please. I always wanted everybody to like me, right? But the point is, I ain't really like myself, right? When going to school, right? I was in the third grade, right? I failed the third grade. Failed the third grade, right? I went home, my mama said, boy, you's a dumb mom, right? Went back to school, right? I passed the fourth grade, luckily. Went to the fifth grade, right? I flunked the fifth grade. I went home, my mama said, you's a dumb mom. All my other friends and everybody, in fifth grade, you go to middle school. Back then, you go to middle school. So middle school, you get a little more independent. Get your own lockers, and you get a little more freedom. You got a lot of home groups. You ain't got to stay in the same room all day. Hey, I wanted that, right? And all my friends left, right? And I was tall and skinny, right? I'm tall and skinny, right? And so when I went in the bathroom one time, right? When I started that, what they call it? Back then they called it pre-middle. I was in pre-middle, right? And so when I went to class and I went in the bathroom and I was in there using the bathroom and the little kid came and said, how you doing, sir? He looked at me. I was so tall, right? He looked at me and said, how you doing, sir? Yeah, because I failed twice, so I'm behind twice, right? And so not knowing, but what I know now is that that was the start of my low self-esteem, right? And from then on, right, I felt less than. You know what I'm saying? I would sabotage my life. You know what I'm saying? I would, when I turned 16, right? When I turned 16, I was running around with a gun on me and chased me and everything. And luckily, look, this is the hit. It wasn't even my gun. Like the police would, they pull you over. He hold this. He throw the gun on my lap. I'm trying to be a soldier with him, right? So I grabbed it and jump out the car and run. I mean, I ain't get caught with the gun, but still they locked me up, though, because we was in a stolen car. Like just doing crazy stuff, right? I went to juvenile hall, and and that was the start of my being incarceration, right? The biggest thing that I always try to talk about is that my pain, right? I had to recognize what was my pain, right? Hey, John, I think I am gonna take this jacket off. You know what I'm saying? Getting a little hot up here, right? But yeah, I had. I had to identify what that pain was. And the pain for me is being incarcerated, like you all, like being locked up, right? Being away from my family, right? Getting to know my kids over the phone. Like that was my pain. Every time holidays come around, birthdays, I'm always locked up. And they pass the phone around, Sherman on the phone, right? That's how I got to know my kids. So each one of my kids will get on the phone. Hey, Dad, what you doing? No, I ain't doing. How y'all doing? How was school? I'm getting to know my kids over the phone, right? I go up in the cell and I cry my tail off, right? Pain. That was my pain, man. That was my pain, right? So my daughter, right? She was 11 at this time, right? The last time I got locked up, right? I came in the Justice Center. Right? And I got on the phone, right? And my daughter got on the phone, and she was 11 years old then. She said, Dad, you locked up again, right? When she said that, right, I was broken, right? Not knowing that, but I was just tired. I was just tired of being locked up, tired of being, my life going right through the same revolving door, right? And so, in jail, you got to be hard. You hear that, y'all? You got to be hard in jail, right? So I thought you got to be hard, right? But I could be myself, right? And so at the time I ain't know. So what I did, I turned my back because I ain't want anybody to see me crying. I ain't want anybody to see me crying on the phone. So I turned my back, right? And I'm crying my tail off, snot rolling, everything, right? I'm in jail. I got to be hard, right? Got to be a certain type of way, right? So I went up in that cell right that night, right? And I just, look, I ain't get on my knees, right? Let me go back a little bit. I was introduced to Narcotics Anonymous back in, I guess, 2009, right? I was in drug court, right? And so that was my first time of being introduced to Narcotics Anonymous. So At that time, right, I was ready to celebrate a year, right? I was ready to celebrate a year clean, right? And I went to the club and got drunk as on the one. I had 11 months. About 15 days. I ain't had that long. I'm like, man, I'm ready to celebrate. I'm ready to get this year. First time I've been getting a year, right? And I was ready to celebrate. And I went to the club to celebrate, early celebration, and got drunk as on the one. I'm talking about pissy drunk, right? I got so drunk that I ain't end up at home. I end up in Jackson Ward, right? Yeah, and so my homeboy said, man, you gotta get a white tag. And I said, no, I ain't get no white tag. No, I ain't. I said, I'm ready to celebrate. I got about 2 more weeks. He said, man, he said, you can't do that. You gotta start over, right? And so I didn't want to accept that, right? But I went up there and got that white key tag. And that white key tag changed my thinking, right? That white key tag, that humiliation. Remember now, I got 11 months. So I know a little something of clean, how to stay clean a little bit, right? I know a little something. So yeah. So I got that humiliation of going up there, and when they say my name, right, people was like, oh, Sherman got high. They were like, ooh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they were talking about that for a couple weeks, man. But anyway, so that was the practice of my being humiliated, right? But I understand now that helped me. That helped me to get, you know what I'm saying, get through, right? And so now the last time, right, which is a couple years later, last time, because I went back out. And so when I got locked up this time, right, I got locked up and I went in there, and like my daughter said that to me. And she was like, Dad, you locked up again, right? And I went in that cell, right? And look, I said, God, because I heard about this. I heard about the God thing, right? Look, I'm one of those guys that I had a resentment against God. Yeah, God this, God did this. Why God had my brothers killed? Why God keep getting me locked up? Why God got me getting high? Why God I can't get my life together? Why God? I'm blaming God for everything, right? So I had a resentment against God, right? But I heard in the Narcotics Anonymous rooms that this is a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? So I said, man, look, I got to try something. Because I done got out of jail over and over and over again. Like, I've been in penitentiary 5 times. Not jail. I've been in penitentiary 5 times, right? I ain't going to tell you how many times I've been in jail. Matter of fact, hold on. I ain't never been to jail and went out the front door. I never came to jail and went out the front door. I'm talking about bond. When I come in, they say no bond. Like, I always went to penitentiary. Always. Or either I got released to a probation officer. I never go out the door with my stuff in my hand. Never. My whole life, right? So, yeah. And in this time, too, so the judge was like, I went in front of the judge, right? I went in that cell, and I said, look, God, whatever your will is for me, right? Let it be done. Remember I told you I was crying and stuff, right? So I was still crying. I ain't get on my knees. I laid in the bed, right? And I said, God, please help me. Please help me. And I tell you this because this is like, y'all heard it talk about the terminology of a spiritual awakening. I think in my heart, right, that was my spiritual awakening, right? Because I was so broken, right? And look, I was coming from my heart. When I asked God to help me, I ain't care if I went in penitentiary for the 6th time. I ain't care. I just wanted to stop this pain from coming. Like I felt like I couldn't breathe in that cell. Like that cell, right, of being locked up, right, of being away from my loved ones. That joint broke me, right? I said, I don't want this no more, right? So I asked God to help me, right? I came out that cell the next day, right? I went downstairs, right? Now, hold on. Before I went in the cell, right, I was this big-time drug dealer. Even though when I put the jumper on, the jumper was so big, it looked like it was swallowing me. My shoulder bone was showing and everything, right? My jaws were sunk in. But in my mind, right, I was a drug dealer. I was in there for selling drugs, right? So I told the guy, he said, man, what you locked up for? I said, man, I got caught with 8 ball. I didn't want to be like an ounce or quarter ounce, because he was like, man, you don't know how you getting that much money. So I had made it, I made it lie up to try to suit me. So I said 8 ball. It looked like I might have an 8 ball out there. But I was lying. I was what I always talk about. I was fronting. I was good at fronting because I wanted you to like me. So I would lie and try to make myself be better than what I really was, right? So that's what I did. We in jail, so I really gotta put up a persona, right? So anyway, when I came out that cell, after I asked God to help me, look, I came out and said I told the truth. I told the truth. Had a new guy come in. I knew the guy. I helped him with his gut stuff. And he said, hey, boy, what you doing? What you doing? He said, what you locked up? He asked me what I was locked up for. And I said, a stem. I said, a stem. And when I said a stem, the guy way over there said, man, you told me 8-ball. I said, man, some nosy motherfuckers in jail. Yeah, and I'm telling you, like yeah. But I didn't know at the time that was the start of my new journey in life, right? I no longer had to front, right? I'm telling you, man, it's beautiful, man. God had lifted that thing. I don't know how, but I was a changed person. I didn't even know it, right? So when I went to court, right, the judge said, why should I give you, he looking at my cheek like this, man. He's like, he's shaking his head. I said, oh, no, here we go. I said, I'm going back. He said, why should I give you another chance, sir, Mr. Green? I'm like, Your Honor, I could tell you some nice old story, right? And maybe you'll believe it. You know what I'm saying? He said, yeah, you're right. I probably would believe it. I said, but to be honest with you, I said, Your Honor, sir, I said, all I can do is ask that you give me another chance and let me show you that I'm trying to change, right? And he felt that, right? He felt my honesty, right? And he gave me another chance, right? So I was awarded with a chance to go to a recovery program, right? And from there, I didn't look back, right? I never had a driver license. When I turned 18, they took my driver license, right? You know why they take your driver license? Well, back then, why they would take your driver license? When you got caught with drugs, when you got caught doing something, they'll take your license. You know why? Do y'all know why? That's the question. No, you know why they take your license? This is what I think why they take your license. Because when you're in the hood or when you're driving, right, and they pull you over, right, ain't no, you can't check my car. No, look, everything is probable cause when you're driving without a license. So if we take your license, then we got probable cause to check your car, do anything to we want to do to you because you're driving in violation. See what I'm saying? So that's an easier way to get up in your shit. Oh, excuse me, your stuff. That's the way I think about it. Well, if you got another logic, then let me know it. But anyway, so anyway, I never had a license, right? It got taken away from me. Look, and this is the hit. I ain't even have a license, they took it. How you take a license I ain't never had? I ain't have it yet. You took it before I even got it. I said, they terrible. So look, they did it. They did it, right? And so it took me 30 years maybe, right? So I didn't get my license until I was 42 years old, right? I owed the court system and everybody $20,000, right? And look, they passed the law right after I paid all this money, right? I paid $20,000. $20,000, y'all. I paid $20,000 to get my license, right? And as soon as I paid it, they changed the law. I said, ain't that up? but anyway, look, so remember I told you about the God thing, the spiritual thing, right? The God thing, right? So look, I never had nothing good happening for me in my life, right? Nothing. Nothing but pain in my life, right? So it's like I didn't think I could do this. I didn't know I could do the program, right? But God sent me to a spiritual-based program. Ain't that something? I asked to go to a program, and God sent me to a place where I could get closer with him, right? I went to a program that had Bible study. We went to church every Sunday, right? Like, remember I told you I was in that cell, and I said, God, please help me, right? He helped me. He helped me by sending me someplace that I can get closer to him. And I believe that with all my heart, right? And that's what I did. That's what I did. I prayed, started praying, right? And not just praying, right? I prayed with all my heart, like I still do today. Like I don't get on my knees and pray. I pray going down the street. I pray in it. Look, I prayed before I got up here. Right? Like, yeah. And it don't take but 2 seconds. Lord, please help me, guide my words. And I hope I say something that's going to help somebody. That's it. Like, look, remember I told you about your perception of life and what's going on with you, right? My perception of God is that God loves me in spite of all my faults. He made me. He created me. So he already knows how I am, right? So what I'm saying is all I got to do is show up for God. That's it. That's how I do it, right? Keep it simple, right? And no, I'm not no pastor standing up here, y'all. I don't walk around talking about God all day. I don't do that. My conversation with you ain't going to be about God, right? But I do know the relationship that I have with my higher power. I know what I got, right? I know God loves me, right? And so that helped change me, though. I'm telling you, it will work for you. Prayer works. That prayer I said in that cell, that prayer worked. Yes, it changed me. Don't get it twisted, though. I had enough pain on top of that want to change, right? But, yeah, when I came out, I was a different person, right? And so God started blessing me. Yeah. God started blessing me in my life because I was doing the right thing. Never had no blessings in my life. Nothing but pain, right? And so when the blessings came, I was like, oh, Lord, they coming. What is this? What's going on? I didn't know how to handle it. So let me tell you a story, y'all. All right, so look. I was working, right? Got me a job, right? The people trust me with their key to the job. Yeah, I know. That shit crazy. Me. I said, they don't know who they what? Me? I was counting their money. I was the closing manager at Advanced Auto in Ashland. I had to drive a long way, right? Wow. On a scooter. Remember I told you about the license? Like I was tired of getting caught without a license, right? So I got me a scooter, right? I rode that scooter in the snow, the sleet, the rain. My grandma said, boy, you going to work today and it's snowing outside. I said, yeah, I'm going. She said, boy, you crazy mama. I got on that scooter and I'm getting it, getting through the snow. What I'm trying to tell you, yeah. I didn't miss a day from work in 4 years. 4 years, I ain't missed no day from work in 4 years. 4 years, man. I didn't know I had that in me. Shoot, my terminology before I started working there was like 2 jobs were for 2 people. When I get a check, I go get me a pack. I told you I thought I was a drug dealer, so every time I get paid, I can't wait till I get paid. I'm going to give me a pack. That pack gets smaller and smaller. Every time I go in the house, it gets smaller and smaller. I come out, I had a half ounce. I come out tomorrow, I got a quarter ounce. I go in the house the next night, I got an 8-ball. I come out, look, every night it gets smaller. I'm wondering why it's getting smaller. That's because I'm smoking it up. I was my best customer. The lady came up in the hallway in Jackson Walk. She said, baby, let me get two of those things for $20, for $15. I said, ain't no more. She said, baby, stop playing, baby. I know it's more. Stop playing. I said, ain't no more. She said, I just seen you with the. I said, look, man, they mine. I said, they mine. Goddamn, leave me alone. Had a whole big bag left. But I'm supposed to be a drug dealer. Friend. You know what I'm saying? Friend, right? That friend Joe had me locked and loaded, man. That friend Joe kept me sick for so long, right? I was so afraid to let somebody know that I was a recovering addict, that I was struggling, right? I didn't want people to know that. So what I would do is dress the outside up, right? Make my outside look good, right? To keep you up off me. So you wouldn't think that I was smoking coke at night. See, I don't smoke coke during the day. This is my turn. I don't want to smoke coke at the day. I don't want anybody to see me like this. And so I smoke it at night. I just do it at night. Not knowing that I'm getting smaller every night. I'm getting smaller and smaller. So when the daytime comes, I'm like, yeah, boy, you small as mother. Mama say, you greasy. And they say, you greasy, must have pork chop. I think I'm looking good because I want to dress the outside up. I got on new clothes and everything. I'm small as I don't know where. The belt, the buckle in the belt, don't look. I find myself late at night poking a hole with a knife, poking a hole in it. Look, before I know that motherfucker had about 10 holes all the way around here. Small as a motherfucker, man. Like I'm telling you. But I'm supposed to be a drug dealer. I was friend. Right? Friend. Yeah. That's what friend got me. In a lot of pain, right? So I got out. I was in the program, right? I'm riding my scooter to work and everything, right? So one day I'm coming home, right? Well, let me just say this. I was at work, right? And it was great a storm, right? It was you could tell the storm was coming. So I told my boss, I said, man, I'm on. I called a motorcycle in. I told him I had a motorcycle. It was Yeah, it was a little ass scooter. Yeah, but that's my motorcycle. That's mine. So I called the motorcycle. So anyway, I said, boss, I'm ready to get on the motorcycle and go, man. There's a storm coming. He said, man, yeah, go ahead, man. Right? As soon as I got on my scooter, it started bawling raining. As soon as I got on it. So I'm coming down Hall Street like this. Look, coming down Hall Street, right? And you know, I ain't got no, so I got to wipe the joint off. Look, I'm riding that joint. And look, I see the car coming. I tried it, yeah. But she hit my ass. Look, head on. She hit me and knocked my ass all the way up Hall Street. You know what I was thinking about when I was sliding up Hall Street? Get what I was thinking about when I was sliding up Hall Street. And look, not yet. I ain't get that far yet. But as she hit me so hard, right, it slid me all the way back up Hall Street. At that time, what I was thinking was, God damn, man, I ain't got to try to get up and run and try to, you know how you try to get up and run and try to throw your ID? Because you know the police coming. That's me. I can't, they're going to find out who I really am. The probation already looking for me. Wow, I ain't had to do that, right? God is good, man. God is good. This helped change my life, y'all. I never had nothing in my life to be positive, right? This was a positive moment, right? It was something that happened bad for me, but it turned into something positive. So I'm going to tell y'all about it. Look. The lady hit me, the little girl hit me. She left. Look, she left. She went on, got on chip and ham, and was gone, right? I didn't know this at the time, right? I'm on the street, cars passing. They don't care about that. They was going, vroom. Anybody stop? Then finally, right? I said, ain't nobody gonna come help me or nothing. Finally, somebody said, hey, man, you all right? Hey, man. I said, hell no, man, help me. So they got out, man, and helped me, right? Look, the girl was gone. She had gone home, right? So they got me in the ambulance and everything, man, and took me to the hospital, right? You know now, what the first thing they do to you when you go to the hospital? The first thing they do to you when you go to the hospital is take your blood and then take your urine. Especially when you're in an accident. You know why? Somebody tell me why. They want to know if you're impaired. It's called impaired. They want to know if you're under the influence of any mind-altering substance, right? Right? And your blood and your urine going to tell it all, right? So that's what they did, right? Thank God, right? That the lady, look, the little girl, she was 18 years old. She went home, right? And she told her mama, I think I hit somebody, right? Her mama said, girl, what? You did what? And her mama said, go back. Her mama said, you got to go back. And let them, look, do the right thing, go back. So the little girl came back. The little girl came back and told the police that, you know what I'm saying, what happened and that she had hit me, right? I ain't know this at the time. That the Chesterfield deputy told me that. The police told me that. He was like, man, the lady came back. She came back, right, and gave her insurance information, right? And when you said insurance information, then when I said, I said, but I still don't think this stuff is going, I still don't think it's going to change for me. I still don't think that. Because I've been through so much pain, right? I don't think that's going to change. Now, I'm not thinking, my mind ain't, look, I just know that I might got a case. So look, I got out of the hospital, right? Big Al, remember Big Al? Call 1-800-HURT. I'm going to answer the phone, right? But before I went to Big Al, right, I went to Allen. Y'all know Allen. I went to Allen, right? Sat down with them, look. I sat down with them, right? They gave me this nice old briefcase. Leather joint, too. It's pretty joint with a zipper. Yeah, I said, oh, this joint's sweet. Look, I said, man, I sat down. I'm excited, right? I said, man, I got a case, man. Y'all gonna help me, man. I got hit on my scooter, and, man, I'm trying to, you know, what can we do? Help me. Get what he said. Get what Allen said. He said, how many felonies you got? I said, what the fuck? I said, man, I ain't talking about no felonies. I'm the victim this time. Why are you talking about felonies and stuff, man? Come on, man. One time, at least one time, can I be the victim one time? He said, sir, how many felonies you got? I need to know all this. I said, know what? I'm gone. I got up, took my little briefcase with me. I said, man, all right, I'm gone, man. I don't look. Got in the car with my friends. She said, what happened, babe? I said, man, that man asked me how many felonies I got. I said, I'm in here. I got a case, man. I'm in here. You talking about felonies. No, I said, no way, I don't want him. And we riding, as we riding home, and don't say 1-800, call Big Al. I tell you, I would answer the phone. That's what it said. I would answer the phone. I promise you, I'll answer the phone. Me and my baby bet. I said, baby, he ain't gonna answer no phone. Call him. I said, what that number was again? She said, 1-800, call Big Al. She had memorized that motherfucker, everything. She said, I said, baby, he ain't gonna answer. He ain't gonna answer. I called that joint. I said, ring. I said, he said, yes, Big Al. I said, man, y'all lost the motherfucking bet, man. God damn. Hey, boy, I thought you weren't going to answer. He answered the phone, man. Hey, listen, my perception, this ain't nothing but God working in my life, y'all. He'll do it for you. I'm telling you, he did it for me. A skid row bum like me, he did it for me, right? He did it for me. I got with Big Al. Look, I ain't even never see Big Al. I ain't never talked to him. I ain't never seen him. When I went to his office, he had his paralegals and all that, right? So look, I did all my footwork myself. Ambulance bills, hospital bills, right? Well, let me just tell you this though. They gave me a brand new scooter. I got me a brand new scooter. One of them big Jones too. Yeah, I had a little one at first. I stepped it up. I got me a big Jones. And I went to all my appointments and, therapy and stuff like that. Yeah, I went to therapy, right, on a brand new scooter, right? Man, look, so one day, right, I came in there. They were like, she was like, sir, Mr. Green, come on down. We got something for you. Come on down. Want to talk to you, right? So I come down there and everything, right, go up in there, right? And so she said, here you go, and slid a check over there to me, right? And it was face down, and I turned it up. I said, I turned the check up, right? And when I turned the check up and looked at it, I sat down. I said, oh my God. I said, man, I know what Fred Sanford talking about now. I said, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you. I'm having a heart attack. I did one of them jobs. I said, oh my God. I ain't never seen so many zeros in my life. I'm trying to take so many zeros in my life, man. I ain't never, look, I said, look, stop playing. I said, how much of this is yours? She said, no, that's all yours, Mr. Green. I said, oh my God. God was working for me, man. God was working for me in my life, right? I folded that check up so small and put it in a little pocket, right? And went out the door like this. I said, man, I know they're coming in here. I know they're coming. I said, look, I stepped out the door. I said, man, the police. I said, it gotta be. I'm scared. I got on that scooter, right? I went to the bank, right? And I said, give me all that. I want all my money. She said, we can't give you all this money. Y'all want to know how much money I had? $77,000. You hear me? That's what I said. What? $77,000. I just knew it was a trick. I said, man, they coming to get me, man. The police ready to come in here. I got on that scooter, man, went straight to Bank of America. Matter of fact, I went to two banks. Yeah. I went to Bank of America first, right? And they said, well, we can't cash the whole thing, but we can, you got to wait a little while, but we can give you a cash advance, right? Give you an advance. I said, well, what's that? They said, well, we can give you, how much you want right now to hold you over until the check clear. I said, what do you mean? She was talking Chinese to me. The bank ready to give me some money until the rest of, what? I ain't know nothing about this terminology, right? This is new to me. I said, oh, no, give me 5,000. Can you give me 5,000? She said, yeah, sure. I said, oh, my God. She better give me $5,000, man. I ain't never had that much money in my life. And that helped change my life, right? Guess what I did with my money when I first got it? I couldn't give it 5 until the rest of it cleared, right? Look, no, what I did was, look, my son, right? My son is the best father he can be to my grandson, right? Right? He's the best father, right? Right? I look up to him as being a father, right? Because for me growing up, coming up, man, I was, my addiction that I wasn't able to be there for him and my other kids, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted that so bad. I wanted to be there. You know how they run through your legs, the child run through your legs? I ain't never had that. They always had to come see me in the visiting room. You know what I'm saying? Like I had nothing but pain. Like I'm trying to tell you that I had to identify with that pain. Like I wanted that pain to stop, right? I wanted that pain to stop. I wanted that pain to go away, right? That's why I chose to go and deal with and use drugs to medicate that pain. Like I encourage you guys to find out what's your pain. What's your story? If you ain't got addiction, something going on if you locked up. So don't try to ask yourself out, well, I don't get high. Yeah, all right, but you sitting beside somebody that do get high. So don't think you know better. You know what I'm saying? Find out why we do what we do, right? I found out that I just wanted to be loved, man. I wanted my kids to love me, right? But I would run from that responsibility of being a real man, right? I wanted to take the easy way out. And I knew if I got high, I ain't had to worry about no responsibilities. I'm all getting high. Fuck it, right? No responsibilities, right? Yeah. Today, right? Today, I'm the one that the family look up to. I'm the one that the family call for everything. My daughter calls me for everything. My daughter now is in VCU going to school, right? It ain't because of me, right? But what I'm saying is I was able to move her ass in, though. I was able to be there, right? I was able to be there for that moment, right? And I'm still there now. Yeah. So we lose some relationships, right? But we're going to get them back if we just do the right thing. They'll come back. Like everybody took all their keys from me. Everybody. My grandma took her keys, and then, boy, no, you ain't standing. I was getting high. Give me my key. My mama took her, let me get that key. The girl took, let me get that. Everybody took their key. Now I got all those keys back, right? And now look, right, I turned some of them down. I got options now. I'm an asset to society. An asset. Yeah, I got choices today. I don't have to take your key no more. I got my own. Like I got my own. Yeah. And no, you can't get a key to my junk. No. Yeah, no. You ain't coming up in there when you want to. You got to knock on the door. Yeah, for real. So anyway, so I got out, I got the money, I gave my son some money, right, and brought him a car, right? Brought my son a car. That's the first thing I did. Brought my son a car, because how good a father he is to my grandson, right? Then I still ain't doing nothing for me. I gave my grandmother, who I live with, my grandma got cancer, right? My grandma is dying, right? I live with my grandmother, right? My grandmother told me, she said, son, look, she said, I don't want you walking behind my casket with shackles on. Right? And I always remember that, right? And I say, I'm not, Grandma, right? She said, I need you to get your license because I need you to be able to take me to my appointments, right? Right? Like, this is God working for me, right? It's all about my perception, right? My perception is that the license, right, and me getting this insurance money and everything, right, it won't just for me, right? It was for my family, too. You know what I'm saying? It was for me to be able to get a car, right? I went and brought me a car, right? I went to, the next day after I brought my son a car, I went and brought me a car, right? The first car in my life, right? Like I no longer had the front. Right? And pull up on the strip with the girl car with the, the little diamonds on the steering wheel and acting like it's mine. Acting like it's my car, right? I no longer had to do that, you know what I'm saying? Like I never had a car in my life. Never had my own car in my life, right? I'm 42 years old. 42 years old at this time, right? And I brought my first car, right? I paid cash for it. And that's nice. It's out there right now. Look at that. It's a Lexus, right? With 22s on it. It got a sound system in it. It's pretty. It's pretty, y'all. I went from a scooter now to a Lexus. I ain't even stopped at a hoopty. I ain't had a hoopty. But hold on. Now that's my hoopty. Because now I got a Range Rover with 26s on it. Yeah. So that's my hoopty now. Man, God will do it for you, I tell you. I tell you, he'll do it for you. And I'm not preaching, y'all. I'm just saying what he done for me. I'm telling you how my life changed. Man, I love it. And look, this is the hit. I still dress the outside up. I look kind of spiffy today, y'all. I did a little something for y'all, right? But what I'm saying is I still like to look good, coming and going, right? But this is the hit. I done put some work in on the inside. On the inside. Some of that stuff, right? Look, I used to raise my hand every meeting. Every meeting I raise my hand. Sharing my tail on, right? Look. And when I raise my hand, people around me, all my peers would be like, oh, Lord, here go this crying motherfucker. When I raise my hand, they be like, oh, Lord, here go this crying motherfucker. I no longer worried about what the next man thought about me. I cried my ass off. All that pain, right, that I had in me, I raised my hand and I couldn't even get a word out. Cried my, look, snot, look, look, she laughed. Look, I cried my tail off, right? Yeah, shoot. Before you know it, right, y'all don't see me crying now, do it? Am I crying today? No, it changed. Now I speak with a conviction, right? Yeah, I done got some of that pain out, some of that pain off of me, right? So that I could get some good stuff in, right? That's how I want to look at it. I tell you again, it's all about your perception. What is your perception and what's going on around you, right? My perception is that, yeah, I got that stuff up off me. Yeah, and he changed me, man. So today, right, I'm able to be there for my family. I'm able to be a mother who has cancer, right? And my grandma don't have nobody else. My dad, he can't barely walk himself, right? So I'm got to be there for both of them, right? But I'm ready for the challenge, you know what I'm saying? I told her I'm going to be there. She's not going to go to no old folks home. I'm going to take care of her, right? You know what I'm saying? To whatever, you know what I'm saying? My kids, right? And this is another thing. My kids, like, they healing. Remember I told you I was never there for them. I was locked up. If I wasn't locked up, I was getting high. So I was never there for them, right? And my kids are still in pain too. Like our families go through this stuff with us, y'all. Our families go through pain too now, right? So my son, right, he's 21 years old, right? And he's going in and out of jail, right? He's trying to find himself and everything, right? Right? And so I'm trying to help him, right? I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to be there for my son, right? Right? So me and him get into it, get to arguing, right? Over the phone. He hang up on me. He bang on, bam, he hang up on him, right? I said, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to find him, man. Where he at? I'm going to find him. I'm the daddy. He hanging up in my face. The hell, I'm the daddy, right? I go over there, I find him. I said, man, what you doing, man? He said, boop, boop, look, hit me with a two-piece, man. Hold on, hey, look, he hit me with a two-piece and a biscuit. I know it, look. Me, I've been locked up, so I know a little something, right? So I pull his shirt over his head, right? I hit him with the old school joint. I put his shirt over his head, right? And I get his arms, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then I mush him in the ground, and I hit him about 3 times, and I let him up. I said, boy, I'm your daddy, man. You can't beat me, right? Later on that night, I ended up in the hospital. I want to tell you I won the fight. but I ended up in the hospital. Thought I was going to die. He hit me in my face, but my neck was hurting. I was like, what the fuck? I said, man. So I walked up in the hospital like this. Look, take it, look. He hit me twice. That's all he hit me with, twice. That's all it took. I don't know what was going on back there, but yeah, that joint was messed up. I went there, I said, man, I'm dying, y'all, I'm dying. They said, what happened? I said, I beat my son up. The nurse said, you sure you beat him up, or did he beat you up? Yeah, but the thing is the pain of my son, right? He still has some pain on him, right? So we hadn't been talking, right? We hadn't been talking for like a month or two after that, right? After the fight, I ain't call him, he ain't call me, right? But one day, and this happened about what? Last month, February. This happened in February. He called me, and he said, Dad, I love you. And I'm sorry, and so, like, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, he said, I love you, Dad, man. He said, man, I was embarrassed, and you were telling me the truth, and it hurt me. That's what he told me. And I said, son, I understand, right? And I said, I'm here for you, you know what I'm saying? I said, sometimes in life, we got to go through what we got to go through, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could tell him to I'm blue in the face, right? But when he turned 21, he's grown now, so he has to make his choices, you know what I'm saying? I just try to be someone that he can look up to now, you know what I'm saying? I take pride in that, right? So whenever I'm out and I'm doing something right, I know that my kids are watching, you know what I'm saying? I know that now. My kids are watching, so I try to make the best decisions, right? When I ain't around my kids, because I know, they looking at me. So he got a job now. He's working, got 2 kids, man, so he's trying, right? My daughter, she's in VCU, right? My oldest son, he working and taking care of his son. I have a 4-year-old son that's that I'm there for and take care of on a regular basis, right? Like I'm taking care of my responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? That's what this program, Narcotics Anonymous, awarded me, man. The freedom, right, to get to know me, right, and so that I can get to know other people or share my love with other people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about, getting to know you, right, and being better with you. So I don't know. I hope I help some of y'all, man. I hope I help some of y'all. And life gonna show up. Stuff gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You know, like, what you gonna do? I choose now not to use no matter what. I don't care what happened, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know in my heart I don't want to use again. You know what I'm saying? And I just take one day at a time. One day at a time. I ain't looking down in the future and all that. I'm taking one day at a time, right? And just try not to use for that day. And tomorrow I'll take care of itself. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, well, I don't know. That's my story, y'all. Thank you for letting me share. I don't know. They do questions. I don't know.
Any questions?
You might want to ask a question.
Big Daddy? Now you get where you work. Well, I mean, you got a good job and everything.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I forgot about the job.
Yeah, you got a good job.
Good
man.
job. Yeah, look.
You make more money than I do.
I don't know about that. One day. Look. So look, God also put on my heart, right, to help people, right? So I was in the wrong field. Remember I told you I was the manager, counting people money, right? But I found out that people saw something in me, right, that I didn't see in myself. And my sponsor was always telling me, he's like, look, man, you need to change your profession. You need to go to school. You need to do whatever you need to do, but you need to come and help recovering addicts. That's what you need to do, because you have a voice. People feel your spirit, right? And so I said, wow, right? And so remember I told you I failed the 3rd grade and I failed the 5th grade, right? But I got my GED. Right? And so it's like, yeah, it's like I'm not dumb as I thought I was, right? I just needed to apply myself. Stop taking the easy way out. Stop fronting, right? So once I stop fronting, right, I found out that, I'm not as slow as I thought I was, right? So what happened was that you no longer had to go to college anymore. You could take a course, yeah, and get to be PRS, right? So tomorrow, which is the 15th, tomorrow I'm going to take my test, right, to be a registered PRS.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm in the field. I'm like, when I leave here, I got to go to work, right? I love it. I love helping people just like me. You know what I'm saying? And that has helped me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, thank you.
You're living your best life.
My best life. I have 2 lives and 1 life.
Right.
Ain't that something?
It's a livable wage job. You make a living doing it. You got your family intact, and you're soaring like a scud vessel.
Man, I'm telling you, man, I love it. Man.
You've got to run, but any quick thoughts, comments, or questions?
Somebody got a question. Hey, my man, I know you from somewhere. What's your name?
I just want to say, Mr. Green, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you again, too.
10 years ago, you and I was right here in Building 8 over in East.
Yeah.
And I remember you left me hanging in the commissary. You left me hanging in the commissary.
Yeah, you got good memory. You got good memory.
You ain't the only one.
But it's a blessing, man, to see you doing well. And
Yes.
I really appreciate you.
My man.
You got what time? You got to be at work though, right?
Yeah, I ain't worried about it, John. Wait a minute. We good. We having fun right now.
Them jobs are easy to come by, man. When you're in
fun.
demand.
We having fun, man. We having fun.
You got something?
Thank you for that, for you sharing. It's very helpful. I got a question, right? You say when you get a fight with your son, right? Your neck got hurt real bad. Did you call Big Al for that?
I should have called Big Al. Hey, look, but know why my neck was hurting? It wasn't but tension. Right. It wasn't but everything just went right here. It wasn't but tension. I ain't been in a fight in a long time. Like I'm in May I'll be 50 years old. I encourage you guys out there, if you're talking junk and you're a little older now, think about it. Right. One of you young boys get on your ass, look, think about that junk. Yeah,
see, but you got good sponsor, home group, step working, you're involved.
All that. My sponsor is a pastor. And he, Walter Randall is my sponsor. Right. Like Walter Randall, right, looks good coming and going. like that's what attracted me to him. You know what I'm saying? But look, Walter changed his life. Walter took 16 years to get his degree, right? 16 years, but he got it, and now he's a pastor.
He spoke here, I think.
Yeah.
And ain't he riding his sponsor?
Yeah, he's riding his sponsor too.
You see the value of a sponsor and a sponsorship family. You see these men coming up in here. I mean, there's a reason they're doing so good, but they're all doing the same stuff. You know, you gotta somewhere in the process, you gotta chase your recovery, and man, this stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? My name is Kurt.
Hey, Kurt.
My question for you is, how did you deal with your pain, and what was your initiation back into your family looking like? Like, what did that look like?
Oh, man. How did I deal with my pain? That's the first question, right? How did I deal with it? Narcotics Anonymous.
Step work, you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, Narcotics Anonymous introduced me to me. You know what I'm saying? I had to stop fronting, right? And I could identify with the pain, right? But I didn't know how to do something right. Like, I didn't know how to do certain stuff. As a man, right? As a man, I stopped being afraid of asking people for help. You know what I'm saying? Like, that held me down for a long time. Like, always saying I know, and I don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stopped saying that. And I said, man, I need help. So that helped me deal with the pain because I started getting introduced to me, right? And now you said introduced back to my family, right? Look, to this day, right, I don't go around telling my kids what they need to do. I just keep doing what I'm doing. And eventually, because they grown now, and they ain't churning no more, so they grown. So it's like, eventually, they'll come say, Dad, I need your help. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Just keep doing what I'm doing, keep going to my meetings, right? Keep trying to get honest with myself, right? Yeah, and just don't use, man. I'm telling you, it works for me. It works. It's simple. I don't try to complicate this thing. I keep it simple, right? Long as I don't put them drugs in me, man, I stand a chance. I stand a chance. If I want to change in some areas, I stand a chance. So that's what I do.
Appreciate that.
My man.
You know, kids are watching. You know, if you're doing the right stuff, kids will watch, and if your kids, you know, kids will come. They'll go where the love is, too.
That's right.
You know, you throw some love out there, it ain't that difficult. Anybody else? You stunned the crowd.
Yeah.
I love you, man.
Thank you.
Great job, man.
We'll hope to be back soon, man.
Oh, yeah. We'll get you over to Big House.
Yeah. And another thing, this is what I do, y'all. I go to the jails and speak to the inmates, right? Someone did that for me. You know what I'm saying? Someone did that for me, and I want to keep and continue to do that. I go to Chesterfield, I go to Richmond, and that's what I do. So that's my way of giving back. You know what I'm saying? What was freely given to me, and that's serious. That's serious.
That's real.
My bad.
I want the folks online to hear you.
Yeah.
Well, you know, seeing your criminal background, how has that, you know, challenged you now? Like, you know, being a felon, I mean, that's a big word, and it means a lot out there in the streets, you know, when you're looking for employment, opportunities, and such.
Good question, right? Look, today, right, 2023, right, things have changed. Things have changed, right? A felony, right? A felony, an explained felony, right? Explain yourself, right? They will hire you. It's no longer, I don't hire felonies, right? They'll hire you, right? If you apply yourself, right? And I ain't talking about go to a bank trying to work for the bank or trying to get a job that you ain't gonna get. Like, realistically, right? You know what I'm saying? Warehouse jobs and stuff like that, they're gonna hire you. You know what I'm saying? They're giving people with felonies a chance. That's
That's
it.
the question.
Yeah.
How much do, like in your lawsuit, what did the lawyer get, like a third?
He got $28,000.
Okay.
I still remember.
Okay, this is,
I remember I told you I did all the footwork.
Yeah.
What do you got money for?
but listen, I want to add value to that comment. One firm asked an insulting, stigmatizing question before they interviewed you, are you a felon? And by being that arrogant, cost that firm $28,000. And the other firm, who was open-minded and embracing and welcoming, so society's changing.
Come on, John.
He got the $28,000.
Come on, man.
And we get out of the system and we're worried. And you should be. But that don't mean there ain't value and benefit, but you got to put the work in.
You got to put the work in, yeah.
You know, Sherman did the work.
I put felony on there.
Yeah.
But I say, well, explain an interview, right? They want to hear you. Because your resume, right? And if I had holes in my resume, right? So what I did was I got with a young lady and I said, make it look nice. Make it look nice, right? Yeah.
I would bet 90% of resumes out there, somebody else put together anyways. I mean, you think all these people can do that good of a job? No, it's a specialty, man.
Some of the things that y'all guys are doing in here, you can put it on your resume. You ain't got to say incarcerated, but you got the experience of doing it, right? So you can say, I was in jail from this time, and I did this in jail. Y'all on work release. You can say, I did such and such. Man, listen, you can dress it up. I'm trying to tell you, man.
I can say one thing, Pam, and you can let the sheriff know this, but since we've been coming in here, some of these are the same people. And I am watching the change take place in front of my eyes, man.
That's beautiful.
This is not the group we started out with in November as far as the change taking place. So something's working, you know what I mean? You're getting good messaging from the speakers. You're getting decent treatment from the jail. See, I think when you humanize the incarceration experience with those suffering from an illness that want it, because obviously you guys are doing the work, the payoff might not seem that big right now, but I'm telling you, man, I see some serious groundwork taking place. And normally I would say I bet on the disease, but I ain't so sure I'd be betting on it with this group of people. You know what I mean? So
I partied with the deputies now. I partied with, I used to look up to drug dealers. Now I look up to deputies, like people, people.
What do you mean by partying? They do cookouts together.
Cookouts and stuff like that. Yeah, like we rub elbows together. I ain't want to be around no police at first. Now it's like, yeah, they like my friends now. Like, wow.
It can happen.
It can happen for you. You can do it. I'm gonna give me one of these cookies, man. I'm going to work, man. I'm going to work.
There you go. Take all you want, man.
I'm going to get some money. Lauren, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm nervous as only one.
Yeah,
I'm nervous. I'm going to study, though. I'm going to go to work, right? And I'm going to study.
But if you fail, don't worry, man. You can take it 2 or 3 times.
Man, I might need 2 or 3 times.
Turn the mic in with you.
Turn the mic on. Let me see if I can drop. Let me see if I can drop the mic. All right, man.
All right. Any guests want to say anything? Barbie? Anybody? Tanya? She's talking. You want to say a few words? Bright-eyed, bushy-tail. That's right. How you doing, baby? Good. Hey, Tanya. Hold the mic so they can hear you. No, they can hear you on Facebook.
So what I heard, and what is most important and vital, is to deal with your pain. Because no one grows up and says, I want to be a drug addict. So what is it that you're running from? What does that look like for you? It's easy to stop using drugs, but the only way to stay stopped is by doing your work, your internal work, whatever that is for you. Do that so that you can get control over this disease that is taking control over you, over your life, over your family, over your decisions. Take your power back. Take your power back and live your best life. Before you get to that point where you're living your best life, as Sherman is, and I am at that point now, the promises are showing up. You have to do some real work on yourself, internal work. And it's not going to be easy because some of those dark places we don't want to go back to. You don't want to go back to that thing that happened to you when you were 5 years old, but you have to face it at some point because it will grow. It has grown with you. Whatever that thing that you're holding on to, you may have had that parent that talked down to you and told you that you weren't good enough, that you weren't worthy, that you weren't valuable, that you will never amount to anything. Well, those were labels, their voice. It will only become your voice if you take ownership of it and start believing it. You're here, you're in a good place. I see my friend that I grew up with since I was 11, that I wanted to beat up so many times, but I was scared of her, in the right place. It may not be where you want to be, but it's where God has you in this moment. He saved us from the madness by purpose with a plan in place. Only we can give that plan away. But as long as you don't make a decision to pick up and use one day at a time, no matter what, life does show up. It's showing up for me with a vengeance. Through my children, I have 2 sons that are incarcerated. But my kids now want to talk with me. They call me, my daughters. When I see her number on the phone, I'm like, darn, she's calling me again. But they're calling. They want to hear what I have to say. I'm no longer that mom who can't get it right that's showing up. That mom that is embarrassing that's showing up. That mom that's getting high. That mom that is doing things that go against the grain of being a mother. So now I'm working on giving my children a whole mom that they deserve. And it's about being an example. I can't go back and change anything that I've done in the past. But what I can do is pray that today, moving forward, we will create better ends. Are our relationships 100% good? No, but no relationship is. There are going to be issues, but we're working on them. We talk about them. They offer up forgiveness. I offer up forgiveness. And it's a work that has to be done because they're my kids and I harmed them. And just like he spoke about, just as we need recovery, our children need recovery. My daughter said, Mom, our pain runs deep. So we harm those that are attached to us, those that love us unconditionally, those that have been there with us and we've dragged them through the madness along with them. So the best thing that we can do for them is be the best examples of our authentic selves that we can be. So once you allow that baggage and that junk to be removed from your life, and you can stand up as who you are authentically in God and understand that He has a plan in place, and that plan will work in divine order. Work these steps. If that is your pathway to recovery, the 12 steps are set up in divine order to bring you back to who God has created you to be. And it's a cleansing process. Allow yourself to be free. Take your power back from this disease. Take your power back by working an honest program. When I can tell myself the truth, when someone else shows up and says, Tanya, I remember when? Well, see, I've already put that out there. So you're not doing anything to harm me. Because, see, I can work this program and be honest and say that I wasn't a good mom, that I wasn't a good person, that I stole, that I lied, that I told my kids I was going to the store every day for 2 and 3 hours to get a pack of cigarettes. I can tell the truth about myself because when I'm able to do that, I've taken my power back from the disease, from the lies, from the deception, from the manipulation, all the behaviors associated with those character defects that show up. They show up for a reason, letting you know that change is necessary. There are 2 things that are constant in life. One is change, and the second is change. If nothing changes, nothing changes. But when you leave here a different person than the person that walked in that door. Work this program and work this process. That's all I have. Thanks for letting me share.
Say hi to Marshall.
Yes. Marshall.
Oh, Marshall, they miss you. We know you. Yeah, even the guys said they miss you. Look, as usual, Pam, thank the sheriff very much for letting us come in here, and the staff doing a wonderful job, making it flow nice and easy for us. We will see y'all 2 weeks from tonight. So until then, of course, stay out of trouble. Don't use no matter what, and keep a great attitude, and keep putting one foot in front of the next, because it will get better. I promise you that. Thank you so much for letting us up in here tonight. Thank you.